And today in our Inspiring Conversations, we are speaking with Gonan Premfors. Hi, Gonan.
Hi, Bindhu.
And you're talking to us from Stockholm.
That's right, Stockholm, Sweden.
Great, great, great. Let me introduce you. Gonan is the managing partner of the Coaches Training Institute in Dubai. And she's the founder of a transformational program for parents, and it's called Parentology. It focuses on the child, and it's all about how parents can build a foundational relationship with their child that can carry them from there on. A beautiful program, Gonan. I know you're such an advocate of children and totally admire you for that.
Thank you. It's a great passion. Children's well-being is a great passion of mine. Yeah.
So give us a bit of background of how that all started. I'm sure there was something that triggered that and you found a gap which is there. And yeah. What is it?
So it started with all coaching, of course. When I have become a coach and started to work with wonderful individuals, I was mainly taking clients in corporate organizations and they're looking at all those men and women. They're working so hard and have a perfect picture of life to themselves. Yeah. And there was always with everyone, almost everyone, there's a missing piece, missing tile somewhere. So when we get into looking at things, that I realized a lot of blueprinting was done from the childhood, from growing up, through the educators, the parents, and the culture of where they've been raised. They were influenced and being put on a path that they were not necessarily belong to. Yeah. So they ended up in places, and they're beautiful places, but that's not for them. And they're very capable people. So when I saw that, and their soul is hurting in a way, because they're invested in so much being there that it's very difficult to get out of it. They have family and kids, and they can't just quit everything and start all over again at the age of 40, 50. So I thought, okay, if we bring parenting, the coaching skills to home and gear up with these skills with the parents, they may be able to get out of the way of this human being, this child, this, massive big soul trapped in a tiny little body at the time. And they can really understand who they are at the very early age. And they can become who they want to become. And they can be involved with things that they belong to, and they're passionate and they love being involved. So that was the idea. And I was just like going around like, how do we do this? How do we do this? Jim Patterson, one of my colleagues and also mentor, he said, Gonan, stop asking around. It's going to be you has to do this, because you're the one who is passionate about this. So that was the opening of every door for me to start really working with that, and then coming up with a program, and then launching it. It's been translated to Spanish, Turkish, different languages as well. And yeah, we've just been going since 2009.
That's great. That's great. And I think it's very relevant as well during these times where parents are having a very new challenge. So parenting has always been a challenge, and now it's like completely in a new dimension with the whole COVID situation and the children with distance learning, so being at home, working from home, and everything. That balance and integration of work-life balance has taken a completely new form, if I must put it that way.
Absolutely.
And so this phase, I know you keep talking about this. How, as parents, can we create memories of this phase with our children?
Yeah. So I think you were on that call. We had a parentology group, and we're talking about it. And it, from that discussion, I just suddenly realized, oh my God, I hear parents having a lot of anxieties, insecurities. What will be life like after this pandemic? Or financial issues. I've heard one parent was telling his child, look, we may lose this house. I heard that, and it just broke my heart, because that child, who is a 16-year old, did not have to have that burden, because all he hears, oh my God, we're losing this house. So he's going to go to his room, and there's no other further conversation about it. It was just one comment. The parent is venting, and he goes to his room. Can you imagine what he is thinking? What he is imagining that his future is going to be in a month time? So all this is can create a very difficult times for that child. Yeah. Because he doesn't have the details, and it's just the fear of the parent, but it's not necessarily even real or true. Yeah. So that's why it's really important. What are we saying? What are we reflecting out? What are we showing to our children? Are we showing the insecurities, anxieties, and financial problems, and a lot of burdens? And all they're going to remember is a big struggle throughout this period? Or are we really consciously creating memories of, those were the best time in my life because I had to have my parents to myself for a long period of time at home. We cooked together, we played together. I got to teach my mom a computer game and she beat me, that sort of stuff. Would have been, and in a lot more, and these memories are going to shape up who these people are becoming, and they will be our future. So really, what are we creating is really important. What memories we are creating, because it's a very signature of time in anybody's life, this pandemic. Yes. It's like when Princess Diana passed away, everybody remembers where they were, what happened on that day. Yeah. Yes. It's the same thing. Everyone will remember pandemic time, but what are they going to remember? Yes. Are they going to remember the struggles and the problems and issues, emotional issues, mental issues, or financial issues? Or are they going to remember like really incredible time with their parents?
True. And I liked what you said about consciously creating this. So it's not about it. I don't think these things come automatically. We really need to think in 10 years, 20 years time, when these kids are adults, what stories are they going to say to their peers? What are they going to discuss with their children? So this is like going etched into their subconscious, right? Because it's a phase of their life that's there. It's them. It's part of their schooling, their college, their graduation, wherever they are in their growing up. So, and as parents, I think it's very important to raise our awareness to create that very consciously.
Yes. Yeah. And it's already very difficult for children need to socialize, and a lot of them locked in the house. If they don't have any siblings, they don't have that ability anymore. I mean, they do socialize over social media and stuff. That's not necessarily the ideal way of socializing for the kids, because they're touchy-feely and they roll around, and they do socializing in a very, very different than we do. So there's already worry about how they're going to show up after not being able to socialize as a kid. And then if you add more layers to that, it's not going to be very good.
And it's not going to be empowering for the child, right? Because he sees this as a struggle and there's fear. Yeah.
Exactly.
So talk to us about this fear-based versus empowering.
Yeah, so fear-based is really creating the insecurities. Fear is always what if, and it may something about may happen, may not. That there are real fears that we have to act and react. Of course, you don't jump on the street if the cars are coming. You don't put your finger on the plug. Those are real fears because you can get, you know, electric shock. But also there are what ifs. Are we doing injecting like fears of what if, or are we really empowering that they're able and capable and they can't? So that's the big difference.
Yeah. And fear-based is also all about getting them to probably anxious about this is bad, like what's going on is bad, it shouldn't be, and now I need to fear this whole thing. How am I going to be here? How is my school going to be? How is my future going to be? What am I going to do later? And these are real, exactly what you said, they are real fears. It is also a what if, right? Some of this may or may not happen, and I don't think as a child they have the discerning power to see what's real and unreal. And that's where we need to understand from their perspective.
Exactly. So also what happens with the child, their mind creates their world. So everybody's experience of the world is what their mind is creating. So every person has got their own world. And within that world, they have a perception of themselves.
Yeah.
So what is the perception of themselves? Is it an incapable person, or is it a capable person that they, no matter what happens, that they will be fine?
Yeah.
So are we creating resilient and capable and trusting?
Yes.
The trust is very important. Are they able to trust, and are they able to trust themselves? And it's not about, I don't trust you, but do I trust myself to be around you? You could be untrusted, I don't care, or trusted, I don't care. But I need to be able to trust myself to be around you, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
So are we really building this in our children?
Got it. And how can we build it in our children, especially during this time when there are parents who, there is anxiety in the air, there is a lot of unknown, there is fear, this is all there, we don't know tomorrow, right? So how as parents can we consciously create this in our homes while we interact with the children?
Yes, so we have to be very conscious, even when you're on the phone with your friend, they're listening. When you're having a chat with your partner, they're listening. When you're having your meetings and when you're having your conversations, they're around, they're listening. So like really be conscious of what are you modeling? What are you showing? Are you showing that there's uncertainty out there, there's uncertainty in the future, but we trust that everything is going to be okay? So are you modeling that? The moment whatever you're modeling, this is what they're going to learn. So that is really important. And in terms of creating good memories, like really brainstorm with your child. What is it they like to do? What is it they want to engage with? They're not going to remember the toys that they're playing with. They're going to remember the time that they spent with you. So what are the activities that will really nurture them, and that will really like do they want to learn how to take pictures? I mean, the kids today, they are incredible taking pictures through the phones and stuff like that. But do they want to go any little further? You can buy them a really good camera or something, and they can, you can start taking pictures around the house, like stuff like that, or board games, or you know, I don't know, like activities like creating a vision board. Like, okay, what do we want to have in a year time in our life? Let's create a vision board. Let's search some pictures on the internet or in the magazines and cut them and print these things and then put on a board. And they're all lovely activities. So, but brainstorm with your kids because they may not like it. Whatever they want and however they want to spend their time.
Correct. And what I'm getting from this is that give them the opportunity to teach us. So that, and that's very empowering, isn't it? That because otherwise they're always taught, like, do this, do that. This is a new learning, learn this, learn that. So imagine telling them to teach.
Let them boss you around for a bit and see how it feels. You're gonna stop bossing them around.
Yeah, and I'm hearing also like role play, right? So okay, you can be now the parent or the teacher, and see how it is. It'd be very interesting.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And especially during this time with in here right now, we have summer holidays coming up, so it's an open time, open opportunity, and the children have, like you said earlier, the children have parents with them like 24/7. So now what do we create from here?
Exactly. Learn yoga with them, learn meditation with them, learn you know, but they have to be interested and they have to like it and enjoy it. So don't force them to do anything. It's not fair. How would you feel if they're forcing you to do stuff?
Definitely not good. And so that's what they're feeling all the time, right? When we do this,
it has to be fun.
Do it at this time, and no, that doesn't work for them. Yeah. So I love the thought of brainstorming with them and together creating. So as I'm talking to you, I'm getting these ideas. Just sit and kind of create this this brainstorm board or a bucket list of for the next 2 months. What are the things that we want to do together? So just put it into a bucket and kind of pick it up and pick an activity a day or whatever comes up. Let's just play with it. It sounds
exactly. And also be spontaneous, like do stuff spontaneously. Not everything has to be planned.
Yes.
And it's a lot of fun in spontaneity as well. I don't know if I said that word right. So
yeah, absolutely. And as adults, say just before 2 or 3 months, we were like constantly doing the things that we needed to do on a routine, and there was very limited spontaneity, acting on impulse. It was not there, and I think now is the opportunity to create that.
Yes,
because all we can do is be in the moment, because we don't know about tomorrow in the real
exactly. And you know, the restrictions on traveling, you know, not having the whole, like the summer is starting, and now we were supposed to be like winding down the work and then going away and spending time with the extended families. All of that is different this year.
Yes.
And a lot of people are in the grieving of that. So include that grieving, but also see what's the silver lining in that, in whatever is happening. There's always a silver lining for something. So model your kids. So what is it that we can appreciate? Okay, it's raining right now. We cannot go outside, but what can we appreciate about it? Mm-hmm. You know, always find something that may be working for you.
Great. Thank you so much, Gonan. This has been such an inspiring conversation about creating memories for children. And I think parents will take away a lot, because we have that open space in time coming with summer and limited travel. So I am sure there are things that we've discussed that's going to be so valuable. Thank you so much, as always.
Thank you.